This year, the country's top chefs are striving to produce 21st century dishes.
Chef, I'm here for a reason, and I'm here to win.
To honour our war heroes.
So how do you know Sir Winston Churchill?
Well, he was my grandfather.
No.
At a commemorative banquet marking the 70th anniversary of D-Day at the incredible St Paul's Cathedral in London, a bastion of British wartime resilience. Under the watchful eyes of ferocious former champions.
Fresh on you now, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, it is. That is.
There'll be heartfelt triumphs.
You're my first ever 10.
Thank you.
And devastating disasters.
Are you happy with what you put up?
No.
Battling it out this week to represent their region are three of the Southwest's highest-ranking pub chefs. Experienced heavyweight Dominic Chapman.
Come on. Feeling the pressure?
Massively, massively, massively.
Determined newcomer Josh Eggleton.
Do or die.
And returning contender Emily Watkins.
I'm very nervous.
Who just missed out on a place in the national finals last year and is coming back fighting.
Fingers crossed.
But has two Michelin-starred rivals and her nerves to beat.
Oh my God, now I'm terrified.
I hope so.
This June marks 70 years since D-Day, the momentous battle that saw British and Allied troops attempt to bring an end to World War II. The chefs have been tasked with producing their finest hour on a plate.
To dishonour the war veterans of D-Day?
I think it's my take on a proper British pudding.
To pay homage to the bravery of those who fought, and they've delved into the past for inspiration, both at home and abroad.
How did you feel when the Allied troops liberated?
Pour nous, c'est un grand bonheur.
Competing this week for the chance to cook at the commemorative D-Day banquet is returning chef Emily Watkins, back to prove a point.
This time, I'm going to get to the final.
First-timer and Heston Blumenthal's former head chef Dominic Chapman.
I've got the most experience in the kitchen, and I intend to use it.
And ambitious newcomer Josh Eggleton, a rising star on the British restaurant scene.
I'm here to win and show the other two what I'm made of.
Judging the chefs as ever is one of Great British Menu's formidable veterans.
It's quite nerve-wracking waiting, isn't it?
Who is it?
This week, it's one of Britain's most respected chefs. Former starter course winner and holder of 2 Michelin stars, Sat Baines.
Hello, chefs.
Morning.
Well, you all know why you're here. You're some of the best chefs in the country. So I'm going to see amazing food, and I'm not going to hold back on the scores, but it's down to you. You've got to deliver. So good luck, guys, yeah?
No,
Thank you. Cheers. How'd you feel?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not intimidated there?
No, no.
No, not at all.
Second-timer Emily Watkins is first up. She made it to the judges' chamber last year, despite nerves getting the better of her during her starter course.
It's not good enough. It's going to haunt me. Good morning, chef.
Morning, Emily. How are we doing? So how do you feel about the starter? Because it wasn't your strongest dish last year.
No, that's very fair
So a
to
lot
say.
to prove this year, no?
Yeah, a lot to prove. I really need to concentrate. I really need to focus on what I'm doing.
So what's your inspiration behind the menu?
Well, the menu's a bit of a culinary journey through the war, and the starter begins with a simple life back on the home front. This dish is called luncheon meat and jelly. It's all about nostalgia.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk to my granny about the war and things, she used to always bring up spam or other products in a tin. So there's the pork belly, brining it, slow cooking it, and then going to be making it into kind of a rillette, basically set in the jelly.
So we've also got some crab apples here.
Yeah, from our garden at home. Just like they did in the war, is using everything which was available. I'm just going to be doing something a little bit different to them to give a really nice finish to the dish.
So what are these potatoes for, Emily?
These are for my potato bread. During World War II, they substituted potato in place of flour. The recipe which I'm doing for this is totally authentic.
So a classic combination of pork and apple, really?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, do you think that's kind of modern enough to celebrate the war veterans? Do you think it's going to nail it?
I hope so.
Well, good luck.
Thank you, chef.
Emily's luncheon meat and apple jelly. It's quite plain. You've got pork, mustard, apples. I think what she's got to put on the plate has to be really high standard to make sure that she's nailed the brief, number one, and also given me something that's really flavoursome.
Next up is first-timer Dominic Chapman, an accomplished chef hoping to use his 19 years of cooking experience to his advantage.
So what's your inspiration behind the whole menu?
My inspiration is basically D-Day and celebrating a great British food. So in creating my menu, I wanted these veterans to enjoy the food that was around in those times.
So what we got in here for the first course?
Obviously in the war, everything was mock because they couldn't really get the real stuff. So I'm going to do a mock turtle soup, which is basically a clear soup made from a calf's head and then making it with a shin of beef, some ham hock, the tongue.
And what's the anchovies for?
The anchovies, I'm going to serve an anchovy sauce, basically. And then I'm going to garnish the soup with sweetbreads and brains.
Brains. So quite adventurous. Do you think the actual veterans would say it's a celebratory dish?
The way I want to prepare them, I think it is a huge celebration, and there's a lot of love gone into this dish.
Dom's mock turtle soup is right up my street. I've known him a while, he's a top chef. I think he's got so many elements in there. Tongue, foot, sweetbread, brain. He's got to clarify stock to make a delicious soup. If any of them go wrong, he could ruin this whole dish.
Last up is ambitious new chef Josh Eggleton, who was awarded a Michelin star for his own pub restaurant when just 27 years old.
So what's your inspiration behind the whole menu?
All my dishes are going to form a journey through the war. So we're going to start in England and move through to France and then come back to England.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. First dish is called Rations on the Home Front. So that's inspired by food items that were eaten during the war.
Yep.
This is a brined pig's head. And what I'm going to do with that is effectively just make a brawn. But the inspiration for that is a spam fritter. So you go to the fish and chip shop and normally have it with some peas, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a chilled pea soup. And we're also going to do some pickled baby beets. And that's all going to go in a little jar. So that's going to put facility to cut through the richness of the pig's head.
Do you think this dish has got that kind of wow factor to put in front of these veterans to say we're celebrating their efforts in the war?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to take them back to the war, but in a good way. Hopefully put a smile on their face. And I've also got some spelt flour here. So during the war, you used to have the national loaf.
Okay.
Everyone got moved over to this national flour. So I'm just going to make that. I'm going to do some small loaves with some nice seeds on the outside and a lot of butter.
Same as Emily?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not been corresponding with each other.
No.
Josh's dish is very similar to Emily's. They're going to be compared a lot by me on bread, the pork. The food sounds quite basic, so I think they've got to deliver on presentation and flavour. My starter got 3 10s from the judges, so no pressure, but I'm looking for something absolutely spot on. So good luck, guys, yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The 3 chefs get straight to work on their World War II-inspired starters.
That's on full whack, Josh, is it? Yeah.
I think so.
They're all determined to cook at this year's banquet to give something back to the nation's war heroes.
I think it's pretty fair to say we enjoy quite a lot of freedom to eat as a result of everybody fighting so hard for us during World War II, isn't it?
We are incredibly lucky, really, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, even after the war, we were still on rations for 10 years.
There didn't seem to be much moaning about it either, was there? It's just got on with it.
Yeah, that's the old stiff upper lip British, isn't it? You know, just get on with it.
But nerves are already setting in for returning contender Emily, whose nostalgic luncheon meat starter is very similar to that of her Michelin-starred rival Josh's.
Quite tough competition, isn't it? Because they're going to be able to compare the ingredients and how we've produced them.
Yeah, so we have got similar ingredients, but I think our technique could be different, hopefully.
Yeah, it'll be amazing at the end, actually, how different they are, probably.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very nervous. All 3 of us cook in quite similar styles, and Josh and I are using a lot of similar ingredients. There's a lot of Michelin stars on that side of the kitchen, so it's going to be really, really tough.
Emily Watkins cooks traditional recipes using modern methods at the King and Plough in Oxfordshire.
OK, 1 wild rabbit, 2 smoked dill, tureen going to table 1, please.
Where she lives with husband Miles and her 3 children, who are her biggest supporters.
Eddie, try this.
OK, I'll try that, Alfie. That is yummy.
Yummy.
I think it's definitely a winner.
Like last year, Emily is up against some formidable opponents.
So the other two chefs have both got Michelin stars, and it makes me absolutely terrified.
But this time, she's really done her homework.
I read a lot of World War II cookbooks, and it's incredible what these men and women put themselves through in World War II for the sake of their country. Seeing just the way they used absolutely everything. Some of my dishes are very, very simple, and I'm hoping that, you know, authenticity is what's going to come through at the end.
Emily has even more reason to want to cook at this year's banquet.
Both of my grandfathers were in the Navy during World War II. During the D-Day landings, my paternal grandfather was involved in the planning of it, and my maternal grandfather was sadly in a prisoner of war camp during the time. So it's a great thing to remember what they all did, what they sacrificed, and to be able to say thank you and be able to cook for these people. It would be an incredible opportunity.
You're exhausted.
Newcomers Josh and Dominic are convinced returning chef Emily has the upper hand.
Is it an advantage being in the kitchen before?
Feel a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, know where I am a little bit more.
Yeah. We don't have that, do it. Yeah.
But after Emily's disastrous start last year, Sat is worried for her.
Emily, how are we getting on? How's the
too bad.
pressure?
All right, I'm just kind of keeping myself a bit more focused this time. We're trying to get each element done.
And what's this here, the potato bread?
This is the potato bread, so it should be coming out the oven onto the path, so they're lovely and even golden.
No concerns, you're on top?
I wouldn't say I'm out of the woods until everything's done and it's on the path, but just tackle each obstacle as it comes.
Culinary heavyweight Dominic is hoping to honour the war veterans with his version of mock turtle soup, an old-fashioned recipe made with beef, not turtle as the name implies, and he's using every part of the animal, including the brain.
How do you feel about serving brains?
Yeah, it's a bit risky. It's a bit risky, but the brains are not in your face. And, you know, the older generation seem to like things like that.
I understand what Dominic's doing. Brains, offal, offcuts, you know, no waste, it's all kind of hitting the right chord. He's done his homework. You know, he's come here to win, and that's it, full stop.
That's away on 7. Come on, let's go now, boys, yeah? Let's go.
Dominic Chapman heads up the kitchens at the Royal Oak pub in Berkshire, where he gained his first Michelin star in 2010, much to the delight of owner Sir Michael Parkinson.
Team Royal Oak. I think Dom is the best of British. I think he's the best of the Southwest. He's a brilliant chef.
This is my mock turtle soup.
Oh, yeah, it looks wonderful, actually. The thing about Dom is that he doesn't just cook a recipe, he investigates the recipe. He's a kind of food historian as well.
Old English food is my bag. I love that. So when I got the opportunity to look at D-Day, that was really exciting. And my menu, I hope, represents Britain and food at the time of D-Day.
Dominic's research even took him to the heroic beaches of Normandy.
To get the opportunity to go to Normandy, actually see the beaches, it was hugely inspirational. And our boys, they did an amazing job. And I'm very grateful for what they've done. So to get to the banquet and say thank you, you know, that's special. That's really special. That was good, huh?
Back in the kitchen, Dominic's clarifying the consommé for his mock turtle soup with a mixture of egg whites and vegetables. A classical technique that helps draw out impurities, but only if it's brought to the boil slowly.
Come on.
You right there, Dom? What's going on?
Got a boiling consommé, which ain't amazing.
Dom, how are we getting on?
Took my oil for a second, and my consommé boiled.
But with the egg whites in?
Yeah. Which is a disaster.
You would almost say a schoolboy error, chef.
Mass schoolboy error. This goes wrong, I'm finished.
He'll be kicking himself for this. If you boil it, consommé will go cloudy and it will get greasy. He can rectify it, but he really needs to pull it together to deliver that dish.
Ambitious young newcomer Josh is hoping to make a big first impression with his nostalgic ration-based starter, which returning contender Emily is keeping a close eye on. His mini bread loaves are ready for the oven, but he still has his pea soup to make, along with the key element of his dish, pig's head terrine, which needs to set in the fridge so he can slice and fry it later.
Josh, how are we getting on?
Going well. I'm going to start picking my pig's head, going through it, ready to...
set in time?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
30-year-old Josh Eggleton is head chef and owner of the Pony and Trap in Bristol, where he cooks British food with a playful twist.
2 scallops on tasting, closely followed by 16.
Younger sister Holly runs front of house, and when the pub was awarded a Michelin star 3 years ago, it came as a huge surprise.
It was something that we'd never expected. Josh was completely overwhelmed.
To be fair, I didn't believe it, actually. I just thought they were winding me up, to be honest.
Determined to continue his winning streak, Josh has sought inspiration for his menu from his nan,
Hello, Nan.
Gosh,
How
how
you
are
doing?
you, love? I'm all right, thank
Good.
you.
who was brought up on rations during the war.
So the main aim for my dishes are to take some of those things that they ate during the war and put my twist on it, elevate it to the next level. Was everything rationed or no?
Well, bacon was rationed,
Bacon.
butter was rationed,
Yeah.
lard was rationed.
This brief is important because, you know, we can never forget the great sacrifice that that generation made. So to win the competition would be fantastic. It would also be great to do it with my grandparents as well, and to see the dishes that they gave me inspiration for to get to the final banquet.
New boy Josh is busy pressing his pig's head mixture into moulds, as is rival Emily. She's hoping to elevate her simple luncheon meat starter to new heights by serving it with old-fashioned potato bread and miniature crab apples coated in toffee. But with plating up fast approaching, there's not much time for the sticky coating to set.
Can I just put these over here somewhere to set? It's so hot in there.
Dominic has been trying to rectify the consomme for his mock turtle soup, and after a brief hairy moment seems to be back on track, but needs to start dressing his plates.
What are all those boards all about?
My starter's dedicated to Juno, one of the beaches that the troops landed at.
Nice.
Every dish is dedicated to all different troops who landed on the beaches.
Yeah.
Do your dishes reflect that?
I'm trying to make them reflect that.
With the clock ticking, Dominic deep fries his pan-aged sweetbreads and calf's brains.
Feeling the pressure?
Massively, massively, massively.
Then places caramelized calf skin, tongue and ham hock into bowls, garnishing with pickled shallots, parsley and lettuce.
Dom, how's it looking?
Really good.
Are you on time, Chef?
I'm coming up right now, Chef.
He adds anchovy sauce, crispy brains and sweetbreads, and then it's the moment of truth.
Are you happy with the consommé, Dom?
Yeah, all right. Okay.
OK, Dom, is this your finest hour on the plate?
Well, at the moment, yeah.
So I think we should have a taste. I'll take the bowl. Do you think it tells a story?
I think it does. Juno is one of the beaches in Normandy, and this course is dedicated to the troops that landed at Juno.
So do you think Juno has a connection with the dish?
I think what Dom's doing is just paying respect. I think it looks beautiful. It's exactly like Dominic Chapman on a plate, isn't it? It's got the old methods of doing it, but done to absolute perfection.
So that's my mock turtle soup. That's my consommé.
The bottle's quite hot.
That's pretty hot. I don't know whether people pouring that might struggle.
Yeah, I've tested this several times, and it works.
I'm gonna try this soup itself.
Do you think the consommé is clear enough?
Considering I had a few issues in the kitchen, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Certainly enough flavour there. What do you think?
Right, so we've got the anchovy sauce and egg. It's actually really nice having the contrast, having it
Anchovies
afterwards. Yeah.
cut for it. We've got sweetbreads and brains here.
Delicious.
Crispy enough for you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing how light the flavour of the brain is. It's not very... It's really nice.
Do you think that this is a good enough dish to see at the banquet?
I really love this dish.
It's absolutely superb cooking, isn't it?
Are you a little worried?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sum it up.
So first course down, hopefully not man down.
Yeah, hope not.
Returner Emily is next to plate up, with the first of 2 luncheon meat starters.
So, Josh, Emily's presentation's looking pretty good. What have you got up your sleeve?
I'm going to be using a meat tin to present the fritters in.
Sounds quite similar.
Yeah, they are quite similar. In fact, it's frightening. I think Emily is spying on me or something.
Emily tops her pressed pork belly rillettes with apple jelly and grinds pork crackling into a powder to go on top.
And whose
Yeah.
crackling's best?
I've done mine more like puffed pork. Get plenty of crunch.
She starts her plate with slices of bacon, mustard and pickled baby onions.
Could I ask you to get those apples for me next door?
Emily adds butter and potato bread loaves and finishes with the pressed pork belly rillettes and her tiny toffee crab apples.
Okay, Emily, think you'd be flying the flag for Britain with this dish?
Well, love it if it was.
So, should we go and get a taste?
Yes, please.
Well done.
So, Emily, do you think this is celebratory enough to actually give a war veteran?
For me it is, because this is a kind of the nostalgic starter.
There we are. I reckon this is direct competition for me. Really cidery, that jelly.
The terrine's quite fatty, so you've got something quite sharp that just goes straight through it. And then you've got crackling on top.
I think there's enough crackling in there.
I wanted the crackling to be more of a seasoning to it, to give it that lovely rich pork flavour at the end.
I think the crackling might have been better if it was left whole, rather than a dust.
And are you happy with the bread?
Yeah, this is an authentic World War II recipe.
I love the bread. Potato bread. It's really good.
And these are the crab apples.
Toffee crab apples.
It's quite sticky, actually.
The glaze is getting stuck on my teeth.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Bit chewy. Well, I'm so relieved that we've done the first course, and I was happy with what I put on the plates, the individual components. I'm really nervous about how it was received, though.
Last to plate up is determined first-timer Josh, and Emily wants to know just what she's up against.
Hey, so your terrine's come out well. It's not had any setting issues.
No, nice and firm, really happy with it. Would you like to try some?
I would. I'm slightly terrified because this is what's so similar in our dishes. It's really tasty. It's absolutely...
Nice.
Oh, my God, now I'm terrified.
I hope so.
Josh dips his sliced pork terrine in egg, flour and breadcrumbs before deep frying.
Just keep an eye on these.
He then carefully fills jars with pickled onions, beets and red cabbage. And tops his pea soup with fresh peas and chives.
It's immaculate. Makes mine look really rustic.
Next is butter, his mini loaves, puffed pork crackling and crispy pancetta.
How are you feeling now you've seen the other two?
Of course I'm worried. Of course I'm worried.
Finally, Josh places the pig's head fritters into tins and finishes his presentation with a wartime ration box.
Would you say that's history on a plate?
It is for me, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
There we are.
Hey,
Wow. Wow.
that is incredible.
You happy with the smoothness of the soup?
Yeah, it's been blended well. And I just want to get loads of texture going for the top. So I've got puffed pork, I've got some pancetta and a few chives as well.
That pea soup's lovely. It's got really nice minty flavour in it, and even the crackling in there.
Adds the texture.
Yeah.
And the bread, this is the national loaf?
This is the national loaf. So this is just my take on it, you know.
Yeah.
It smells good, but it is quite dense.
This is the brawn.
Seasoning okay?
It's on the high side.
The red cabbage and onions have been pickled in sweet sherry.
For me, the pickles just need a little bit more flavour. Maybe a little bit more vinegar, just a little bit more lift.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you think the pickling has had long enough?
The pickles are a real quick pickle, done today. I just wanted to lighten it up and not to be too heavy.
I've got to give it an 8. I think it's a good dish.
I think it's probably worth a 9.
9?
I do think
good
so.
score.
I think it's amazing.
If you had to give yourself a score out of 10, what would that be?
I don't know. I'll give myself an 8 for this one.
There he is.
How was it?
Yeah, good.
Happy?
Yeah, give me a 10.
Did he? Did
Yeah?
he?
No.
I'm looking forward to hear what Sat's got to say.
Yeah.
I really hope my score isn't so bad that it's like really hard to claw back from.
How's everyone feeling?
A little anxious.
Emily, for your luncheon meat in jelly with rillette of belly pork. The pork was lovely. Tater bread was very nice. And I like how you used an original wartime recipe. It was a nice tasting plate of food. But the meat lost something in texture. You made some amazing crackling, but I didn't know why you didn't use it in its entirety instead of grinding it up. The toffee crab apples stuck in my teeth, as it did with you. I think the dish overall was a little bit safe. I was a little underwhelmed by it. Dom? Mock turtle soup with sweetbreads and brain fritters. The consomme, you were quite worried it overboiled in the kitchen, but it was perfectly clear and had an amazing depth of flavour in there as well, so well done. The sweetbread and brain fritters, delicious and really hit the brief, and a real throwback to wartime cooking. But the glass jar for the consomme was too hot. Holding that was a real issue, I think, health and safety. The link to Juno Beach felt a little bit odd. Couldn't see the correlation there. I think you need to marry the nostalgia with the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Josh, for your rations on the home front with pig's head terrine. First up, just check your sharp edges on the tin to make sure they're not dangerous. The pickle veg was a little bit dry for me. However, when you lifted the box off, fantastic. I love the pea soup. Terrine was spot on, fantastic texture. You really hit the brief. Well done. So the scores. Emily, for your luncheon meat in jelly, I'm going to give you a 5. It was nicely cooked, but this dish just wasn't special enough for a banquet. Dom, for your mock turtle soup, I'm going to give you an 8. Superb cooking, just make sure serving the dish really reflects the nostalgia you're going for. Josh, for your rations on the home front, I'm giving you an 8. Sort out the pickles and the practicalities of eating it, and this could be nudging on to a 10. So Emily, not a great start, but it's early days. You know, you're a very talented cook, so I want you to really push yourself and go for it.
Thanks, Chef.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done, guys. Good cooking.
Well done.
Well done, you.
It's a good start, but, you know, there's loads of work to do.
I was delighted. It's brilliant. I don't think I could have hoped for more, really.
Get on with it, Nanny.
I feel quite gutted, so I try and do better on the next courses.
With the food critics in town, Manchester's restaurant wars are really hotting up. Next. And then at 9, it was a business born in a garage. Now it's booming. Amazon's retail revolution.